My name is Chad Rueffert. I'm the founder of and president of From Your Friends Relationship Marketing, which is your exclusive sphere marketing program. And I will spend a little time today talking to you about how to create a super sphere, a sphere that's based around your unique selling proposition and that will actually send you consistent referrals and help your business soar. Um, Move this off the screen there. So just quickly, a little background on me to introduce myself. 30 years ago, when my hair was a lot less gray, I was putting my shiny new marketing degree to work in a little cubicle at a Fortune 500 company, and I loved marketing, but I had bigger aspirations than an endless climb up a very long corporate ladder. An old college friend of mine had been working in real estate for a few years, and over a few too many beers one night, we got the crazy idea that we wanted to start our own real estate company. And sounded like a great idea. He'd handle the contracts and closings. I'd handle the marketing and business development, and we were going to get rich, right? We all know that that's what happens when you get into real estate. Everyone gets rich in real estate. But as always, of course, reality was a slap in the face. I took the classes, I got my real estate license, we signed an office lease I could barely afford, and then we had absolutely no idea what to do next. We were stuck. We were smart, I guess. We were hardworking for sure, and we were willing to eat top ramen every night. So we had the ability to learn on the job, and eventually we did just fine. But we learned the lesson that a lot of new agents do. Getting your real estate license is the easy part. Building a profitable small business is really, really hard. So in 2001, it's hard to believe that it's been that long. I saw an opportunity to combine my background in marketing and advertising with everything I'd learned about real estate and small business ownership. So I sold my part of the brokerage business to start an advertising agency focused on real estate and home building. I love to tell people that I own an advertising agency because they all have this great Mad Men picture in their head of attractive people in cool 60s suits, chain smoking, and martini lunches. And while I'd love to say that was exactly the way that our lives were, the truth is that Braintree Marketing was located just north of y'all in Colorado Springs, not on Madison Avenue, and our focus was on real estate and home building. So not nearly as glamorous. In 2002, I met a man who was the owner of one of the fastest growing Remax brokerages in Colorado, and he hired us on to handle their branding and advertising, which we helped them grow at that time to over $1 billion in transactions. But while we were doing that, we had the opportunity to meet with hundreds of individual real estate agents. They really didn't care what we were doing for their brokerage brand. They liked it, but they wanted to know if we could help them build their own personal business. And so I saw a need and a real opportunity there. We wanted to help. We spent a lot of time researching and strategizing how to create a marketing plan for the individual realtor. That's what led us to create From Your Friends all the way back in 2002. From Your Friends is now one of the fastest growing relationship marketing programs in the United States. We've helped tens of thousands of agents across the country build referrals and repeat business. We've been exclusive to Coldwell Banker Legacy for over 15 years, and over that time, over 1,000 agents have used From Your Friends. Uh, Only spend just a second on this. Our program is simple. If you don't know about it, each month we partner with a local restaurant or attraction, send your sphere a great free offer or discount. So for about a buck a month, you can stay top of mind with your sphere with a true item of value that they'll notice, use, and appreciate, and then hopefully reward you with repeat business and referrals. If you want to learn about From Your Friends, you can just talk to your manager, your marketing team. Go check out our website. Happy to talk to you about From Your Friends at any time. A great way, as she said earlier, to co-brand with your loan officer or to work your farm area as well. So two more things about me. First, I love cartoons, so I made this entire presentation to look like a cartoon. It reminds me of Saturday mornings in my pajamas eating super sugar crisp cereal on the couch. I still watch cartoons when I need a break from the real world. And even though I like my cartoons old school, I like my technology skills to be up to date. AI is really rapidly changing the marketing industry, especially in graphic design and content generation. I'm trying to use AI in every way I can to keep on top of that tech. One thing I've learned is that AI image generation is still pretty terrible at working with lifelike imagery, but they're pretty good at working with illustrated images. So every slide that you see today was generated by ChatGPT with prompts to make them in a vintage cartoon style. done completely on my personal computer without the help of a graphic designer, something that would have been completely impossible just, months ago. So enough about me. Let's talk about real estate marketing and specifically sphere marketing. When we all first got into this business, every agent is told that they should start marketing to their sphere of influence. And new agents are often given advice about who should be in their marketing sphere, and the advice is just about everyone you know. Should be your mom and your dad and your grandma, your dry cleaner, your dog groomer, your hairdresser, your butcher, your baker, and your candlestick maker. Anyone you interact with and have influence over. That's why it's called a sphere of influence. Your sphere of influence becomes your first customer base because they are the people that are most likely to do business with you. But there's a big misconception, I think, about what the goal should be when you're marketing to your sphere. Relationship marketing actually consists of about three primary segments. The first one is to earn the business. Take your personal relationship with a member of your sphere and turn it into a business relationship. You want to help them sell their home or help them buy one. The second is to earn that repeat business. You want to make sure that all of the work you put into creating a satisfied customer ensures that customer remains yours for life. And while those two segments are really important and they're what most people focus on, they're not truly enough to make you successful through sphere marketing unless your sphere of influence is really, really large. The third segment of relationship marketing is generating referrals. And this is where you go from simple sphere marketing into advanced sphere marketing. And I want to talk a little bit about that today. These days, selling to your sphere, that is trying to convince them to use you to buy or sell a home, just isn't enough anymore. Generating referrals really is the absolute most important part of sphere marketing. And this graph shows you why. 75 years ago, over 20% of the population moved in any given year. That means that people needed a new home on average every 5 years, which was great for real estate agents. It was great for our industry. If you had a sphere of 100 people, you could figure in any given year that 20 of them were going to move. If you can earn that business, well, then you can be a successful real estate agent. But the number of people who move every year has been going down steadily. Today, your potential customers are staying in their homes over 11 years on average. And that means that from a sphere of 100 people, you now only have access to 8 or 9 movers each year. That's a big, big difference and a trend that should change the way you think about marketing. The primary goal of sphere marketing really should be to generate high quality referrals. The real reason you should spend all that time building a sphere, getting people to know, like, and trust you is so that those people will feel comfortable and motivated to refer their friends, family, and coworkers. By marketing through your sphere, you exponentially expand the number of potential prospects. If you just sold a young couple their first home, it will probably be 10 years before they're ready to buy or sell again. That's a long time to wait for that next round of business. But it might only be 10 minutes before they run into a neighbor or a friend who mentions that they just got a promotion, is going through a divorce, is about to have a baby, and is ready to move. So, from a sphere of just 100 people, if you can get even just a small percentage to provide a referral each year, you can easily double or triple your potential transactions just from your sphere marketing. So I want to talk a little bit about the steps that you should be taking to ensure that your sphere of influence feels comfortable and motivated to refer you to their friends, family, and coworkers. The very closest people in your sphere, they'll do it automatically. Your mom, your grandma, your best friend, they want you to succeed. They'll go out of their way to help you. For other people, though, for the people who might know you and 4 or 5 other realtors and really have nothing to gain from the referral, you have to go out and give them a solid reason why they should choose you. The number one reason that people don't refer a real estate agent is that it comes with a risk. If I refer my mom or my employee to a real estate agent and then that agent does a crappy job, then I look like an idiot. When you make a recommendation, you sort of become involved in that transaction and you're at least partially responsible for satisfying that customer. And most people simply don't want that responsibility. And so they won't make a referral. Think of for a minute about who you're willing to put your reputation on the line for. Would you do it for your dry cleaner? Well, what if they ruin my $1,000 suit, right? Would you do it for your auto mechanic? What if my car breaks down in the middle of nowhere? You'd feel really bad. So if the people in your sphere have nothing to gain and a potential reputation to lose, why would they refer you? Your goal as a sphere marketer is to provide them with the information that it takes to help them overcome that referral risk. A ways back, A gentleman named Bob Berg wrote a book called Endless Referrals. I think it was all the way back in 2005. If you haven't read it, you really should. Gary Keller called it required reading for all sales professionals. Most of you are probably familiar with Bob's golden rule of relationship marketing. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. I already used the words once in this presentation. But what's funny is that that's not really what the golden rule says. Here's the actual text. All other things being equal, people do business with and refer business to those people they know, like, and trust. So you hear it all the time that the goal of your sphere marketing is to get people to know, like, and trust you. But everybody leaves off that most important part, all other things being equal. And what that means is that if you are a terrible realtor or even just an average realtor, it doesn't really matter how much somebody likes you. They'll still probably do business with somebody else. And they definitely won't send referrals. That know, like, trust part only works if you are as good as or better than all of their other options. So here's what it comes down to, right? When it comes to generating referrals, to overcoming the referral risk, the absolute most important part is to prove your competence. The truth is that if people think you're really, really good at what you do, they don't even have to like you that much to refer you. If you want referrals, your advertising and marketing can't just go out and say, "Hey, I'm a realtor." It can't just say, I want to help you buy and sell a home." It has to go out there and say, "Hey, I'm a freaking great realtor." And then you have to support that message in any way you can. You have to arm your sphere with the tools it takes to overcome the referral risk. So, how do you go about convincing people that you are a great realtor? This was an interesting slide because as I generated it in ChatGPT, it really messed up all of the text that's on the screen. But uh, the problem is for most consumers, when it comes to understanding who is a great realtor and who is just an average realtor, is that real estate's what we call a parity industry. The Greater Albuquerque Association of Realtors is proud that they represent over 3,000 realtors, and they should be, but that should scare you just a little bit. As a real estate agent, you have hundreds or even thousands of direct competitors, and the biggest problem is that the consumer can't tell any of us apart. In the consumer's mind, most real estate agents are pretty generic. Every one of us takes the same classes. Everyone passes the same exam. We all use the same contracts and forms. We all use the same MLS. And truthfully, we all have access to the same inventory. We don't actually have control over the product itself, the inventory that's available, the interest rates, all of those important things. So the question becomes then, in a parity industry, what actually makes a consumer choose one agent over all the others? Sometimes it really is just who they know, like, and trust, who they have a relationship with. And that's why sphere marketing works. But often that's not enough to get people to go beyond the referral risk and fully endorse you to their extended network. If you want your sphere to actively send you referrals, you have to give them a reason why. You have to have a unique selling proposition that overcomes the parity, overcomes the risk, and makes you the obvious choice. Seth Godin, the guy on the screen here, he's one of my marketing idols. He pioneered the concept of permission marketing, which focused on turning strangers into friends and friends into customers. And that's another book I strongly encourage everyone to read. But he puts it this way: if you persist on trying to be all things to all people, you will fail. The only alternative then is to be something important to a few people. The absolute best way to remove the referral risk from your sphere is to position yourself as an expert who can solve a specific problem for a specific group of people. And that's what a unique selling proposition is. So my challenge to realtors these days is to stop being a real estate generalist and start being a real estate specialist. In an NAR survey, the number one thing that customers looked for when finding a realtor was specific knowledge. And by that, they mean they want you to be an expert in what's important to them in their particular transaction. People don't just need to sell a house. They need to sell a house in a certain neighborhood. They need to sell it at a certain price range in a limited marketplace. It might be a luxury home. It might be a vacation home or a condo, or it might be in a maintenance-free neighborhood. It's not just a generic house. It's a specific sale that they need. Buyers are the same. They don't want to just buy a house. They may need help with a certain type of mortgage, or they may need to be in a particular school district, or maybe they have horses and they need to buy a home with land. Buyers and sellers always have very specific needs that they need filled. And if you can position yourself as the expert in that particular specific need or want, then you become the obvious choice to be their realtor. Becoming a specialist makes everything easier. It can help you decide what type of marketing to do and to who. It can help you decide which designations to pursue, which networking events to attend, which magazines to read, even. Your intensive focus on a few specific areas will make you an expert in those areas and a sought after resource for people looking for assistance. I don't want you to get me wrong. Being a specialist does not mean that you have to give up business. You don't have to be a lakefront property specialist to help your brother-in-law buy a fishing cabin, so long as you feel qualified to do it. But what I want you to do is start thinking about using your expertise as a specialist to give that people that reason why. This guy right here on the screen, Rosser Reeves, he was an original madman. Another one of my idols as I studied marketing at the University of Colorado. He's the guy who actually coined the term unique selling proposition. And truthfully, with that face, he could probably just intimidate you into buying whatever he was selling. But one of the cool things that he talks about is that it's actually perception among consumers that matters. It's not necessarily who is the best. It's about who owns the position of best in the mind of the consumer. So, the agent sitting next to you at the meeting might have exactly the same qualifications as you when it comes to helping first-time home buyers. But if in your marketing, one of you is a generalist and one of you is a specialist, the consumer will have an easy choice to make. If I'm the guy on the left and I'm in your sphere of influence, it's absolutely great that you're keeping in touch with me. But nothing about this marketing message involves actually solving a problem for me. There's no unique selling proposition. If anything, his ad is solving a problem for him, trying to generate business for him. If my son just got married and is thinking of moving from an apartment to a condo, I'm going to feel way better about referring him to the specialist on the right. She is the obvious choice. She's made it that way. She's helped remove the referral risk and given me a reason why I should choose her as the specialist in my very specific set of needs because she's a first-time homebuyer specialist. Again, the goal of this being a specialist is to answer the question, why should I refer you? In this set of ads, the realtor on the left is using a very vague and very general message. It's literally exactly what the consumer expects a real estate agent to say and does nothing to differentiate them from anybody else. I'm experienced and trustworthy is something that they've heard a million times. Specialization helps cut through the sameness and it reduces that referral anxiety. If I just got a new job and I have to move across the country by next month and I ask for your opinion, which agent would you refer me to, right? You'd refer me to the fast sale specialist because that's the service that I need. I'll give you a personal example. This is my daughter, Army Staff Sergeant Chloe Nordaby. She is a high mobility artillery rocket system gunner in Southern Colorado. She's kind of a badass, so her photo got a little classic G.I. Joe treatment. He is also a first time homeowner. I know literally dozens of agents in Colorado Springs, including my old neighbor, my best friend's wife, and about 200 customers. But I didn't refer her to my neighbor. I didn't refer her to my best friend's wife, even though I like them both. Instead, I referred her to a gentleman who took my advice many years ago and began specializing in first time military buyers because there was absolutely no risk in making that referral, as I knew he was the best realtor for the job. Now, he helps all kinds of other people too, but he is a specialist in that area. And so I was comfortable making that referral. So to some extent, you can actually just go out there and own a specialty that pretty much any other realtor can claim, but it definitely works better if you can back it up. Actually being the expert and being a true specialist will give you the confidence to close that deal with just about anybody who needs help in that particular niche. And the good news is that specialists are more valuable. Consumers are confident in paying full commissions for that extra knowledge. So go out there and pick a few places where you can truly be an expert, and then go back it up by getting that advanced designation or that additional training. I sat down and just wrote out over 60 different ways to specialize in the real estate industry. There are basic ones like luxury or senior living, first-time home buyers or retirees. You can specialize by geography and be a coastal property or an urban condo specialist. You can specialize by lifestyle and become a green realtor focused on sustainability and energy efficiency. You can be an investment property specialist, focus on things like verbos or foreclosures, but you can also get creative. I have a friend now who markets herself as a specialist in pet friendly properties. In her marketing, she talks about how she knows the HOA pet guidelines of the local communities, how she understands the various breed restrictions in all parts of town. She knows where the best parks are and how to find houses near them, knows the great walking trails, and has great connections with invisible fence companies. She goes and hands out marketing materials at the local pet groomers and dog boarders. 67% of the people in this country own a pet. So that's a very broad audience and a very great specialization. And if you're really in love with your dog and you're looking to find a house with a better yard, she's your obvious choice. Another one that's trending right now, being a specialist in multi-generational housing. You can tell people that you understand zoning issues. You can find homes with multiple private entrances or independent living quarters. You can find homes that are primed for expansion to fit their needs. It's actually easier than you think to position yourself as a specialist, and you can be a specialist in more than one thing. In fact, you should be. Just take a good look at the homes you've sold in the last 12 months. Whatever neighborhood you sold your most recent home in, you're a specialist in that neighborhood. You sold a couple of condos, be a condo specialist and run with that. If you just love to golf, find a way to position yourself as the golf course living specialist. When you change tactics here just for a minute. So when you know that referrals are the goal of relationship marketing and that you need to have a specialization to become referral worthy, it does change your mindset a little bit about the people who you want to have in your sphere of influence. It's great to have your auto mechanic in your sphere of influence list. He might sell his house one day. You spent a lot of money in his shop and he owes you, right? So 9 years from now, when his youngest son graduates high school, he'll probably call. But is he going to send you referrals? Is he going to bring your name up to family, friends, and coworkers when they mention real estate? He may be the world's best mechanic, but if he never leaves the hood of a car and he can't remember his customers' names, you're not going to get a referral from him. So you're marketing to that guy just in hopes of getting his personal business and nothing more. If you want to become an advanced sphere marketer, in addition to your SOI, we encourage you to have what we call a SOAR list. This is your sphere of active referrers. For your maximum marketing return on investment, your sphere really should be made up of the people who are most capable of and most likely to refer potential buyers and sellers to you. And those people are actually determined by your specialization because they're the people who will be most impressed by your special skills and have connections with the people who need those skills. If you want to specialize in a specific neighborhood, for example, then your SOAR list should include people who are most likely to refer buyers and sellers in that neighborhood. So that means people on the HOA, the local schools, the parent-teacher organizations, the neighborhood watch, local business owners, all of those people should be on your SOAR list. Basically, your SOAR list is a bunch of people with their own great sphere of influence who are also within your target audience and can really help your business get off the ground and soaring. And this is the same no matter what your specialization. So let's say your focus is first-time home buyers, you go out and get ministers and wedding planners and apartment managers on your SOAR list, and then you let them know that you specialize in the specific challenges facing those first-time home buyers. If you specialize in the luxury home market, build your SOAR list around like-minded professionals like wealth planners, jewelers, and luxury car dealers. You go back to that auto mechanic. If you are a luxury home specialist and you take your Jaguar to a luxury car specialist, his customers really are your potential customers. Almost everyone he sees every day is a potential luxury home buyer or seller. So if he treats his customers like friends and he's talkative and outgoing, he's probably a great addition to your SOAR list. By the way, I deliberately did not change this slide because it fully illustrates why AI still has trouble with images. For some reason, it really does not understand handshakes and also I think wrenches because I think that's a cheese slicer in his pocket. I'm not sure what that is. This slide actually was one of the ones that I had the hardest time making, and I worked on the longest. It took me 9 tries with ChatGPT to get it to understand that the people should be helping to move the plane forward and not push it over like a crowd of zombies. And for some reason, also this guy looks like he's about to go on a ski trip because he has skis on the bottom of his plane. So I'm not sure where that came from. So still some limitations to AI image generation. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about who could be on your SOAR list because it is really relatively intuitive. ChatGPT could probably help you make this list. What I want you to do is just truly think about the people within your specialty that also have their own sphere of influence that you can use to expand your own. If you'd like a copy of the list of SOAR candidates that I've got here, I added about I think 60 or 70 of them here. I'll add that to the list, or I'll make it so that you can download a PDF. Um, Last little note about this. Your SOAR list is definitely a little different than your sphere of influence. Likely you don't already know most of these people, but that's just fine. This is more of a marketing list than it is a list of existing connections, but you should treat them essentially the same way. You just start by simply connecting with them. Add them to your From Your Friends mailing or some other mailing list. Add them to your monthly email newsletter. Connect with them on Facebook. Follow them on LinkedIn. And then as you have time, take it another step further. Actually comment on their LinkedIn profiles, invite them to one of your customer events, patronize their place of business. And then every time you market to them, be sure you are highlighting the unique selling proposition that can make you a valuable resource for their sphere of influence. Position yourself as the expert in the things that are important to everyone that person works with. One of the things that I hear from new agents a lot is that they haven't signed up for a relationship marketing program like From Your Friends because they don't have a list of people to market to. But you don't actually already have to have influence over people to start marketing to them. Just by starting the marketing process, you begin to gain that influence. It's a psychological concept known as the propinquity effect. I only really put this slide in here because I like the word propinquity. It's fun to say, and because it has, again, that weird ghost invisible handshake going on that the AI can't seem to get right. But the propinquity effect basically says that if you just make yourself visible to people, they'll start having a basic attraction or liking of you. So it's pretty much just the core philosophy of marketing. Start talking to as many people as you can, as often as possible. Eventually, they'll probably buy something from you. And if you're connecting with the right people, the people in your specialization, then you already have something in common to start the relationship, which is the same base group of customers. Just like the people in your sphere, do what you can to actually add value to their lives. Send them a postcard. If you want to get a referral from them, send a referral to them. In time, you'll start having a sphere of people who are consistently and happily sending you referrals and will help your business soar. So that's my time today. That's what I wanted to talk about, being a specialist, overcoming that referral risk. If you go out into 2026 and start marketing a unique selling proposition to generate referrals, I'd love to hear how it goes for you. And this is not an empty promise. If you want to chat about how to implement any of these ideas, my email address is there on the screen, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be a resource for you.